Hello everyone. Today we are going to learn about LR0 parser example. So now this is the question given. We have to find out whether this given grammar is LR0 or not. So in this there are three productions given. This is the production number 1, production number 2 and production number 3. So you can write like this also this. This is one production. Then second production is what? E goes to T. See this vertical bar means what? E produces two things. One is this and another one is this. That is E produces E plus T and E also produces E goes to T. Okay. So these are the two production and third production is T goes to ID. So these are the three productions. Now using this three production I have to find out whether this given grammar is LR0 or not. So step 1 is to augment the given grammar. Now what is the meaning of augment? You just have to add the extra production E dash goes to E. Meaning this E dash is a new variable or you can say non-terminal which produces your start symbol, that is E. Now in this given grammar the start symbol is E. Okay, so E produces E plus T or E produces T. So E is the starting symbol in this given grammar. So you have to augment by putting E dash, okay, as a start symbol, and E dash produces your E. And then write the remaining grammar as it is. E produces E plus T or E produces T, T produces ID. Okay, so this is the augmented grammar. I have only added the extra production, that is E dash produces E. So this is nothing but a augmentation. Now step 2 is to draw canonical collection of LR0 items. Now this given grammar is normal grammar. It is not LR0. We cannot call it as LR0 grammar. So we have to first make this grammar as LR0 items and then we'll draw the canonical collection for this. So we have augmented the grammar in the first step. So that also production I am writing. Then the next production is E tends to E plus T. And E goes to T is another production of E. And then we have a T goes to ID. So these are the total 4 production. Now these are normal production or normal grammars. So we have to make this as LR0 items by putting dot in the right hand side at the first place after the arrow. See, this is the arrow. This is the left hand side of the production and this is the right hand side of the production. Same way in this is the left hand side of the production, this is the right hand side. So in the right hand side of every production at the first place, we have to put the dot. Immediately after this arrow, we have to put the dot. So here also dot will come, here also dot will come. Now this became the LR0 item. Till the time you don't put the dot, they are not called as LR0. Now they are called as LR0 item. So now put this in the circle like this and we'll give name to this as I0. Okay. So now see the first production. E dash goes to dot E. So we have to visit this E. Okay. So now we want to expose E. So suppose E is exposed. So dot will come after E because E is exposed or E is visited. Okay. After dot whatever is there, no. If it is a terminal or non-terminal, we have to visit it. So dot E is there. So we are visiting this non-terminal or variable. Okay. So when you visit this, dot will come after that variable or non-terminal which you have visited. So we have visited E. So after E, the dot will come. Okay. There is one more production where we are visiting E only, where we are exposing the E only. Okay, so all the production where E is getting exposed, no, that you have to write over here only. So now here also E is getting exposed. So E goes to dot E. So E is visited. Okay, anywhere else E is there after dot. Only in two production E is there after dot. That is this first and this is the second. So now we have exposed the E's which are there in both the productions. Now next is E goes to dot T is there. So we can expose this T also because after dot T is there. So we have to expose the T now. So here I'll write T. I'll call this as I1. So when you expose T, E goes to T dot. Okay, now T is visited. Anywhere T is there after dot in this I0 circle? No, nowhere T is there after dot. Only over here it was there and we have already considered it. So now T is visited. Now check in I0 where the production is remaining. Which production is remaining after the dot which is not visited. Dot after dot there is a ID and we have not exposed this ID. All other productions wherever the dot was there, after that whatever is there we have exposed them. Like E we have exposed in first two production, then in third production we have exposed T also. Now in the fourth production we have to expose this ID. So write whatever you are exposing, that will come over here. Okay, so now we are exposing the ID. So this we can call it as I2. So how to expose the ID? T dot T goes to ID dot. So dot will come after ID. So now we have exposed all the non-terminals or terminals which was there after dot in I0. Okay, so now we have to do same thing in I1, I2, and this is I3. Okay, so first we'll start with the I1 because after I0 we created the I1. So we'll start with the I1 now. Again we have to do the same thing. Check the first production which is there in I1. E dash goes to E dot. Anything is there after dot to be visited? No. So this production you cannot expose further. So this is over. You cannot do anything with this production further. So next, E produces E dot plus T. Now after dot over here, plus is there. So we can visit the plus or we can expose the plus. Okay, so plus will come over here. Okay, so write this production. E goes to E plus dot T. So after plus dot will come because now plus is visited or exposed. So after plus the dot will come. Now dot T is there. Okay, so dot will come after plus. So now plus is exposed. So we can give this circle name as I4. So now see the I2. E produces T dot. After dot anything is there? No. So this production is already over. We cannot do anything with this production further. Now in I3, T produces ID dot. After dot anything is there? No. So again this production is also over because after dot nothing is there to expose. So this I2 and I3, whatever productions are there, we cannot do anything with them. They will remain as it is. Now here if you see after dot in I4, T is there. So we can expose this T non-terminal or variable because after dot something is there. So we can expose it. So now we are exposing the non-terminal which is there after dot, that is T. So E produces E plus T dot. Okay, so dot will come after T because T is exposed now or T is visited. So can we go further? No, because after dot nothing is there now in this production. So here E goes to E plus dot T is there. So we have to write all the productions of T. Which are the productions of T is there in the original grammar? T goes to ID. So we have to write that production also with the dot. So we can expose the ID over here. T produces dot ID, but ID is already exposed in the I3. So we can give the arrow to this only. We can call this as I5. So now this is called as canonical collection of LR0 items. Now based on this, we have to first number the production. So first production is, don't take the augmented production, rest everything we can take. So first production is this, second production is this, and third production is T goes to ID. So these are the three production, first, second and third. I have numbered them. Now we have to create the parsing table. I have drawn the canonical collection, I have numbered the productions, and also the augmentation of the grammar has been done. So now I can create the parsing table. So now this is a parsing table. We have an action part and we have a go-to part. These are the terminals which are there in the action part, and E and T are non-terminals which you have to write in the go-to part because only two non-terminals are there in the original grammar, that is E and T. Whichever are present in the left side of the production, no, they are called as non-terminal and they are always present in capital letters. So only two non-terminals are present in the given grammar, that is E and T. And these are all I0, I1, I2, I3, I4, I5 are the states which I have drawn in the canonical collection. You can see over here. There is I0, there is I1, I2, I3, I4, I5. So now we have to draw the parsing table using the canonical collection and using the original grammar. I've already numbered the productions in the previous step. Production number 1, production number 2 and production number 3. Okay, so now we'll start drawing the parsing table. Now you see I0 state using E goes to where? See this I0 using E goes to where? I1. So you can write over here 1. Don't have to write I1, just write 1. Then I0 on T goes to I2. See, this I0 on T goes to I2. So I can write over here 2. Don't have to write the I2, just write 2. Then I0 on ID goes to I3. Okay, now I0 on this ID, it goes to I3. So this you have to write it as S3. Why S3? S for shift. So on whenever you have a terminal, no, just write the S because you are shifting to next place. You are shifting the dot to next place. So or you are going to the next state. So after shifting the dot, you are going to the next state. So I0 on ID, it is getting shifted to S3. That is the state I3. Now we'll go to the I1 state. Now I1 on plus, it goes to I4. So I1 on plus, it goes to state I4. So write S4 because it is shifting to 4. Plus ID or other than any capital letter, no. If anything else is used in the grammar, they are always called as terminals or the symbols other than the capital letter if anything is used. So now other than E and T, there is a plus and ID. So both are considered as the terminals only. Okay. Now I1 on plus, it is going to I4, but it is accepting also one of the production. It is not going anywhere when E dash goes to E dot. See, this augmented grammar was the first production in the grammar. I've augmented the grammar and I've put this E dash goes to E dot. That is E dash produces E dot. So this was the first production which was there in our augmented grammar. So now after dot nothing is there, so we didn't visit anything further. So it is over here. So this is accepted. So I1 on dollar, you write dollar means end of the grammar. So that there was an end of the grammar. After dot nothing is there. So I1 on dollar accept. It is accepting the augmented grammar. So wherever the augmented grammar is there, no, it is fully exposed. Augmented grammar is there, no. Now it is fully exposed. E dash goes to E dot. You cannot go further. So it is fully exposed. So in that state, you have to write, that is the state I1. It is there in state I1. So I1 dollar, you have to write accept. So ACC for accept, or you can write the full word accept also. Then we'll go to I2. Now I2 is not going anywhere. Okay, so I2, in the I2 state, there is only one production is there. E produces T dot. After dot nothing is there, so it is fully exposed. Which production it is? So this is the second production. E produces TC. Okay, this E produces T, that production it is. So production number 2 is fully exposed, so it is, you cannot shift further, so it is reduced. There is only shift and reduced in the bottom up parser like LR parser. So you have to write over here R2, that is it is reduced, you cannot go further. So in all the cells you have to write R2. Here also R2. In the action part you have to write the R2. Everything we have to do in the action part only. Go to part, you just have to put the state number because only non-terminals are present in the go to part. So there we won't write anything. Everything you have to write in the action part. Now go to R3. Now R3 also, it is having one production. T produces ID, and this is fully exposed production, that is T produces ID dot is there. After dot nothing is there to expose. So I3 state is having one production which is fully exposed. So there is no further shifting. So this production is production number 3 in the original grammar, that is T produces ID, and it is fully exposed. So this is, we cannot shift further, so it is reduced. So write it as R3 in all the cells of action part. Next is I4. Now I4 on T, it is going to state I5. So I4 on T, it is going to I5. So just write the number 5 over here like this. And I4 on ID, here ID is there, okay. I4 on ID goes to I3, okay. So I4 on ID goes to I3. So we'll write in the action part, we have to write S or R before the number. So I'll write it is getting shifted to S3. Now I4 is not going anywhere else. So we'll go to the next state, that is I5. Now in I5 also one production is there. E goes to E plus T dot. Now here also in this production after dot nothing is there. So this production is fully exposed. So this production is production number 1. E produces E plus T. So you cannot shift further. So this is has been reduced. So write R1 in all the cells of action. So write R1, R1 and R1. So now there are no further states in the canonical collection. Canonical collection and passing table are connected. If you don't have a canonical collection, you cannot draw passing table. So first you have to draw the canonical collection of LR0 items. Then only you can draw the passing table. And from the passing table, you can whether given grammar is LR0 or not. Now from this passing table, we can tell whether the given grammar is LR0 or not. So how we can tell whether given grammar is LR0 or not? Check each cell. In each cell only one entry should be there. If there are more than one entries, in any cell, then it is not considered as LR0 grammar. Now the cells which are empty are called as what? Error cells. They are having the errors. So parsing error we call them. So we don't have to look at those cells which are empty. See the cells which are filled up. If there is more than one entry in any of the filled up cell, then we call it as non-LR0 grammar. The given grammar is not LR0. But in our case, if you see in every cell which is filled, there is only one entry. See, here only S3 is there. Here only number 1. Here only number 2. Here only number 5. Here only S4 is there. Here only R2 is there. Here only R3 is there. There are no two entries in any cell. So we can call this grammar as a LR0 grammar. So this grammar can be called as LR0 grammar. Since no conflict in the parsing table, so given grammar is LR0 grammar. If there was one more entry over here like S3 and S4, or suppose here like S4 and R3, something like this was there, like two entries in one cell, then we could have said that it is not a LR0 grammar. But in our case, only one entry was coming in every filled up cell, so it is a LR0 grammar. So this way you can tell whether the given grammar is LR0 or not. So this was all about the today's video on LR0 parser example. Thank you.